Hey there, my name is Kathy, and thank you for watching my channel, Crafty Kathy. If this is the first time that you've ever been to my channel, I'd like to say welcome and thank you so much for stopping by to check me out. And you guys that are returning, you know I love you from the bottom of my heart. Here on my channel, I like to do any kind of DIYs, thrift flips, hauls, and I also love to do upcycle for resale in a booth. So if that sounds interesting to you, I would love for you to stick around and become a part of our little family here on YouTube. On our channel, we have a lot of love, we have a lot of laughs because it's always a hoot around here, and we have the DIYs. The way I look at it is if you come to my channel for 30 minutes, I want you to leave with some good DIY inspiration and a little uplifted spirit and just to be a little bit happier than when you came. All right, so let's get to the nitty-gritty of the matter. I'm a part of a huge collaboration of ladies, and it's called Around the World. And what we did was pick somewhere around the world that gives us inspiration. I picked the French farmhouse scheme. And so my fall DIYs are going to be in French farmhouse scheme, which is very much like what is in this year for autumn. So I'm excited. You're possibly going to see some brand new colors, but you're also going to see some colors that were around last year. But I hope that you're going to love this video. Also, did I mention that there's going to be a great giveaway in this collab? Stick around to find out. We'll talk about that just a little bit later on in the video. And now, what I know you've all been waiting for, this is the executive producer in case this is the first time you've been to our channel, and he sings the theme song with me. Are you ready, Savvy? He's ready. On our channel, we got love and laughs and DIYs. 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 Yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo, baby. Yeah. Exquisite, sir. All right, enough with the nonsense. Let's get on with DIY number 1. I have 3 wooden boxes that came from the Dollar Tree and this beautiful chalk paint from Home Decor called Nantucket. I'm going to give my boxes one good all-over coat. When it comes to French farmhouse, this is one of the most popular colors.
And also, I've noticed the past few years for fall, it's becoming very popular. We're always going to have those traditional fall colors, but I've noticed the past few years the blues and the greens are becoming super popular. Now I'm going to speed this up just a little bit because all I'm doing is painting. I have 3 of those small pumpkins that comes from the Dollar Tree, and they have the clips on them. It looks like I maybe just spray painted those last year, but like halfway spray painted them like really quick. So what I'm going to do is just give this a couple of coats of my white chalk paint. I take the little stems off and I stick them on a skewer because I find it a lot easier to paint them that way. I went out to my pile of barnwood and I grabbed this one plank, and I'm going to take the boxes and I'm going to lay the back part down flat and just set the little box right inside of the lid. Then I touch up underneath the boxes because I totally forgot to paint that part. I have this gorgeous old belt that I don't use anymore. We're going to put this on the boxes, and we're going to try out my new Monvict non-dripping glue gun. I hope it works well because I get so tired of my glue guns dripping all over the table. So I just glue the belt right in the middle, and I'm only going to cover 3 sides of these boxes. I just felt like these boxes needed something else, and when I looked at this old belt, the light bulb just went off. I was thinking with the dark color and the light color of that blue, it's going to be perfect with this project. And boy, was I right. Look how pretty that is with those 3 different shades of blue. I love playing around with like different shades of color and texture because it just brings this extra something to your project. One thing I forgot to do though was take in account the extra width that's going to add to those boxes when I put that belt around it. So some of those were kind of tough to get back into the box lid, and I just had to glue them together. I measured it out and left about 4 to 5 inches in between each of the boxes. And I have this pretty little acorn that came from the Dollar General last year for just $1. I took the little handles off of it and I'm going to put it at the top. But the first thing that I wanted to do is distress it with Nantucket. I went all around the edges and all around the front. I have the handle part to 3 of those big 5-gallon paint stir sticks. We're going to have to stick 3 of these together in order to put that underneath that acorn because it's concave and it's not going to stick down on the board. So I just glued these together with my hot glue gun, and then I'm going to glue them underneath the acorn.
I'm going to use my medium strength Sheer Bonder glue to make sure that I get a really good hold. Now, hot glue and metal are not friends, so I just needed something extra to make sure that we got a good permanent hold. I have a pool noodle here, and I use it in place of the floral foam because it's so much cheaper, and I like it better. I just cut it in half and then cut it in pieces, and I'm going to put about 2 pieces down in each box. I'm just going to cut up some of my florals. I have this boxwood pick from Walmart. And then some of the other florals that I have do not have the name on them like this one here, but it is the Dahlia, I'm pretty sure. It came from Dollar Tree last year. And look at these fall peonies they have. I think this color is just, oh my gosh. This color too is big in the French farmhouse right now, and I believe this color is going to be really big this fall. So all I did was just cut up the pieces, and I'm just putting piece by piece in the top box, the middle box, and the lower box. When I was happy with the placement of my flowers, I put my little stems back on each of my pumpkins, and I put one in each box. I'm going to make 2 bows from some of my supplies that I got from burlapfabric.com. I have this gorgeous lace ribbon, but it's too thick, so I'm going to cut it up the middle, and then I'm going to use that thin burlap ribbon to make 2 small bows, and I'm going to do them in a figure 8 in that awareness bow figure. So I just pulled off that raffia that was on the top of my grateful acorn, and I'm going to place my little ribbons on the top. I felt like my bow still needed something, so I took a darker colored button and a lighter colored one, and I placed them right in the center of the bow. Then, in order to make it all cohesive and go together, I did the exact same thing with the buttons on the front of each of my little boxes. I think this gave it that extra little touch that it needed to send it over the top. And then I took this beautiful pampas grass that is an orangey yellow color, and I stuck it right in the top of the grateful acorn. And guys, as always, the camera cannot do this justice. I just think that this is beautiful, y'all. The color of these flowers with that color of the blue is just wow, is all I can say.
If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that little red subscribe button and that bell. What are you waiting for? We would love to have you be a part of our little family here on YouTube. And beside the bell, if you click the word all, it'll show you every time I upload. DIY number 2. I have one of those foam pumpkins that came from the Dollar Tree from last year, and I must have already painted it from a previous DIY. So we're going to use that, and we're going to take this beautiful fabric I got from Walmart, and it's very French Farmhouse, and we are going to wrap this pumpkin in love, baby. This is the simplest thing to do. You just take out the stem at the top, and all you're going to do is basically lay your fabric down, and you're going to bring it up to the top. And there's places where I had to fold the fabric to make it all go in correctly. And there's a few places where I had to use some hot glue. But all you do basically is fold it up at the top inside that little hole. And then at the bottom, I just cut that off and folded it down. Now, there was a few times that I probably could have used straight pins, and it made the fabric even tighter to the pumpkin. But I think that it turned out great, and this is very simple, guys. Basically, anything that you need to cut off, you just cut off, and you just keep sticking it through that little hole at the top. That's all you do. Last year, I ordered some corks by accident off of Amazon. I don't know what I was trying to order, but I never sent them back. But they make perfect pumpkin stems, y'all. This was so cute. I take some Dollar Tree jute twine and wound it around my hand about 5 or 6 times and just make a little bow. And then I'm using that raffia bow that came off of the Grateful Acorn. And that's all I'm going to do to this pumpkin because that's all she needs. Look how cute, y'all. DIY number 3. I'm taking this window outside to spray paint it, but I wanted to show you how it was before I did. Remember in my last video when I decoupaged that window with that beautiful fern paper? Well, this is her sister. That was Mary. This is Martha. So what we're going to do is just take some 220 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to sand it out real good and kind of make it look a little old again in some spots. Look at this beautiful plaque that I got for only $1.99 at the thrift store. It came from Hobby Lobby. It has a tag still on it for $6.99, so it's never even been used, and I think it's beautiful. So I'm going to put some hot glue down around the center of the plaque, and that is where I'm going to put my sign. I took my molds and some modeling clay, and I made 4 corners for this picture, which turned out beautiful, and I painted them a green color. But then at the end, I had to end up taking it off because they went flat. I squished them or something. But anyways, it was a nice thought. I figured I'd show it to you. I cut up some ferns and some berries and different flowers because I wasn't sure what I was going to use at this point. I've also got some orange ranunculus and some cattails and that green wheat on the right side. I ended up picking out the ferns and those cream colored dahlias, I think they're dahlias anyway, and the ranunculus. All I did was place them on the front, and the easiest way that I could find to get them to stay was with masking tape, and I put just a little bit of glue on there too. I bought this green wheat off of Amazon, and I just think it is beautiful. So I picked a few sprigs and I placed some on each side, and I tied it in the middle with some twine. I just hot glued that in the center, and then I realized that that orange that I had was too much of a bright orange. I didn't want that, so I used a more muted tone of orange in the top up there, you can see. And I have one of these little wreaths that I had bought around Easter time, and I just wrapped some of those orange colored pit berries around it and put it on the bottom in the middle of the wheat. And this project's done, and I think it's beautiful. If I can find the green wheat and those orange flowers at the top on Amazon, I will link those for you guys in the box below.
Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs.
There was 12 of these beautiful little wreaths that came from Amazon, and I will link those down below. And I believe, now that I'm looking at these orange flowers, that they were eucalyptus leaves in this orange color. And I know I bought them off of Amazon last year.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly.
Now, before we go any further, let's talk about this giveaway and about the collab. The giveaway is going to be hundreds of dollars worth of cosmetics and a lot of the great things that come from Dollar Tree that everybody's wanting. There's some of those calendars in there, and there's going to be some of the most awesome stickers and transfers. It's a prize worth a couple $100. There are 22 of us ladies participating in this, and what you have to do to get in the giveaway is to go to each one of the videos and put the word world in the comment. You have until August the 6th, and it's U.S. residents only. So let's keep moving, guys. We're in DIY number 4. I'm going to take some of those stickers that I got from Walmart, and they're actually called thickers. They're very thick, and I like to use them sometimes for my words. And I'm going to take my Nantucket color, and I'm going to go over the word grateful. I have a little wall plaque that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm also going to give it one coat of the color Nantucket. I'm really digging this color. I know for fall, it's definitely going to be my main color. But when I colored my plaque, I realized that I had done my words in that color too, and they can't both be the same color. So I decided that my words would really pop if I did them in white, and I went back over them several times to get them colored. Sometimes I am so dingy, I don't know where my head is. So I have this other plaque that I got from the Hobby Lobby for like $1.49, and I'm going to go over it with my antique wax that's Waverly. Then I'm going to dry it real good. So then I took the word grateful off of my plaque, and I'm going to do any touch-ups that I need to do. And there's a couple little spots where I did have to use my hot glue gun. With my hot glue gun, I put that second plaque around my word grateful. I've got a little bag of these beautiful little small leaves that I got off of Amazon last year. They're little wooden leaves and flowers. And I'm going to take 3 of those leaves, and I'm going to color them with the Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm going to just place them in different spots around my picture. I will link these below too. I took some raffia. Well, it's actually that child-size hula skirt from the Dollar Tree, but it's the same thing. And I wrapped it around my hands about 5 times, and then I squeeze it together in the middle and tie it to make a bow. Then I take my scissors and I cut all the little loops and I fray it out so it looks almost like a little messy bow. It's so cute, and I'm going to put this up in the corner with my hot glue gun. Then I take some of those pit berries that I got from the Dollar Tree last year, and I did the exact same thing. I wound it around my hand a few times and squeezed it in the middle, tied it, and I'm going to place that over that raffia so it is just a beautiful little bow. I think this is probably my favorite project of all of these, believe it or not. I just love the colors. I love the way it turned out. And look at that antique wax with that blue. Oh, it just takes my breath away. It's so beautiful. And with those orange pit berries, wow. And who of us doesn't need to be reminded every day to be grateful? So when I look at this sign every day, I'm going to remember, hey, I've got a lot to be grateful for. Speaking of grateful, thank you guys who sent me in prayer requests. And always remember, anytime that you want me to pray for you, you leave it in the comments or at my email, and I will be there for you. I will pray for you anytime you ask, guys. I love y'all. And we're going right into DIY number 5. We've got several different little pumpkins that we're going to color up here. One of my favorite things to do. So I have all of these already spray painted white, and I'm going to use Celery by the brand Waverly. And this is another beautiful French farmhouse color, and I'm just going to go all over my pumpkin with my celery color. Then I make sure that it is absolutely dry before I move on. I ended up painting 2 green and 3 with my Nantucket color, and here comes the fun part. I've got some lace doilies that I got from the Dollar General, and I'm going to take one and cut it in half. And then I'm going to cut strips down each of these halves. Then I take a few of those strips and a lot of Mod Podge, and I'm going to place it on one of the blue pumpkins. So what I did was just put my Mod Podge down, and then I put the strips down, and then I put Mod Podge on top of it, and I had to use a lot of Mod Podge. In some spots, I literally had to saturate it, and I found it easier just to use my fingers to do this. There was a few spots that I did have to use some hot glue here and there. Then I got that beautiful fabric that I have and made little slits and cuts out of it. I took one of the long strips and went all the way around the pumpkin and just hot glued it down. And then I took another strip and went around the pumpkin with it. When I finished gluing those down, I did use Mod Podge to reinforce it. Then I'm going to take one of my trusty corks and use it for the top of the pumpkin. I also have a little ribbon spool that some of my baker's twine came off, and I cut it in half, and I'm going to use each one of those as a pumpkin stem also. I decided to use one of the little stems that came in the pumpkins for my little lace pumpkin. Then I take some of that leftover fabric strips that I have from that green pumpkin, and I'm just going to tie it to the top. Then I take another one of my corks, and I'm going to cut it in half and use it for some more pumpkin stems. Aren't these just the cutest little pumpkins that you have ever laid your eyes on? My DIY white wax finally came in, and I found that you have to put just a very little bit on your brush, and you brush it on and basically just wipe it right back off. I'm going to slow it down so you can see with and without. The left side of the screen is with, and you can see without on the right. I also found that it's important to work in small areas, and I ended up coloring my green and my blue pumpkins with the white wax. I took a little piece of the green fern, and I'm going to just tie it along with the wrap on my little green pumpkin, and it looked beautiful. And can we just talk about this basket for a minute that I got from the thrift store? Look at this basket. I am so in love with it. I don't know why. It looks like it's got like a natural green, like, I don't know, it's just beautiful, y'all. It's so pretty. So what I did was I laid my 2 little doilies, one on each side of the basket, and then I'm going to place all my little pumpkins back in the basket. Oh yeah, I forgot. I did lay down some rose garland that I have. I'm going to try to remember to link all these flowers and stuff down in the description box below, but if I forget, just remind me.
take a step into the river. Get down on your knees. Come to the mountain while taking in the view. You will find that life is greater than you knew. When you go through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight, I will fight. Oh, you're broken and you're shattered at the point of no return. You pick up the pieces and you let the bridges burn. So come to the water.
Our last DIY, guys, number 6.
Take a step into
I have a little piece of balsa wood in the shape of a square, and I have another little piece of balsa wood that I didn't end up using. I have my Celery by Waverly, and I have these 2 beautiful verses, Be Joyful in Hope, Faithful in Prayer, and Thankful, Grateful, and Blessed. They both came from those little Dollar Tree calendars. So I'm going to take my green color and I'm going to totally color this block. I noticed everybody has been making these pumpkins out of squares, pieces of wood. So I thought, you know what, I'll give my go at it. I cut the excess pieces off of the little calendar pieces, and then I'm just going to glue those one on each side of my little block with my glue stick. When I finished the first side, I flipped it over and did the exact same thing to the second side. Then I placed one of those little stems in the top of it that came off of the original pumpkins.
So come to the water.
Then I take some more of that raffia and I'm going to go around my hands a couple of times and tie it in the middle to make a little bow.
And get down on your knees.
And I'm going to do exactly like I did before, where I take my scissors and I cut all of the little loops out so it will be flippy and look like a little messy bow. Then I took some more of those little pip berries and I wound it around the end of my paintbrush so it would look like little curly leaves on a pumpkin. It is so adorable. I took one of those little wood leaves and painted it green, and we're going to place that right in the middle of the bow to top it off. I love this verse, be joyful in hope, faithful in prayer. And here's the other side with the grateful, thankful, grateful, blessed. Well, here it is, guys. It's the last DIY, and you know I always hate to see this part coming, but I have a special little message that I'm going to give to y'all in just a moment. And don't forget to go down and make a comment in each video, the word world, so that you can get into that giveaway. And good luck on winning. I love you all. The girls are all excited because they got a big old bag of mealworms called Floral Fiesta. Yum, yum. That sounds good. Look, it's as big as Savvy. And they're so excited. Don't step in chicken poop. Hey, come and get the worms off the porch and throw it to them. Come on, girls. Let's see if Penny will eat it from my hand. Come on, Pen. Pen, you. Well, for some reason, they act like they're not interested, but they just ate a big load of them, so that's probably why. Come on, girls. Say, come on, girls. Say, come on.
Hey, those worms gonna try to get in their tummy.
Yes, those worms will try to get in their tummy. Say, get it, girls.
Get real.
Get it, grills.
There's old scaredy cat over there. Come on, girl, and get you some worms. See, the black one stays off by herself. She's thinking about it. Now she's coming. Sabby, don't chase that turkey. Doggone it, I was going to get a good picture of it too, you little rascal. He should stay out of my yard, and I mean it.